Are you guys ready for a new motorcycle build?
I know I am.
Let's get the bike. I have no idea. It's a 2005 ZX-6R. Oh god. Look at it in all its glory.
I want one of those.
Wow. Oh man, it's so cool.
What a cool motorcycle. This is great. What do you think? So we're going to be doing a build or a bolt-on kind of thing for this 2005 ZX-6R. Some of you guys have been watching me for a while. No, I'm not super crazy about super sport motorcycles. I had some back problems, I had a knee surgery. You may be wondering why I'm doing this. I'm doing this for you guys. It's like a public service, not an announcement, not a PSA, but like a public service information, yeah, a PSI. That doesn't stand for anything, does it? Nope. What am I actually getting at? Why are we doing this build? To tell you about that, I gotta tell you about some other motorcycles. I know it sounds kind of weird, just stay with me, I have a point.
And now it's story time with Jake.
I started riding motorcycles back in 2004, 2005. First motorcycle I got was a 600. It was a 2001 R6. What I can remember from that time is a brand new 600s were on the floor for around $7,000 or so. It wasn't unheard of to get a leftover for under $7,000 out the door. I bought a 2005 R1 in 2005, brand new, for about $11,000 out the door. It's been a few years, sure, and I know there's things like inflation, but it occurs to me that the sport bikes have gone massively up in price when you look at a brand new one. In fact, I've got a sheet of paper here. We're getting real official here. I did a quick rundown of just what I could find MSRP prices, and you see a lot of these bikes are $12,000, almost $13,000. The GSX-R 600 comes in at the cheapest. But you know, this is the price before you add freight and assembly, tax, title, license. These are all fees that you're gonna have to pay. I don't care what you read online.
I went into that dealership and I was like, I ain't paying more than 10 out the door. That's all I paid.
That guy is full of So you add up all those prices, search around the internet and try to take the most reasonable sounding prices I could find on all those bikes. What I came out with was around an average out the door price of $13,000 to $14,000 for a 600. Nearly doubled in price. What is so good about the 2018 compared to the 2005? The 2005 and the current model are both 636 cc's. Horsepower, now mind you, this is at the crane, this is not the actual back wheel. Claimed horsepower, the 2005 is 130.5. 2018 is 131. So they've gone up double in the price for 0.5 horsepower. Torque, currently 52 foot-pounds of torque, and the current model has 52.4. So yes, you're getting 0.5 horsepower and 0.4 foot-pounds of torque.
Wow.
This one apparently is a wet weight of 407 pounds, and the newest one is 427 pounds. So you're gaining 20 pounds of weight for that extra 0.5 horsepower. Now I know what some of you will tell me, Jake, the new bikes have got all the cool electronics on them now. They're very advanced. That's what you're paying all that money for. Looked up the new ZX-6R, for instance, to see what all does it come with that this one didn't. Traction control modes in there and ABS. I always get people to get upset at me when I say this, but I can turn those modes off, and I know I can ride the bike better with them off than on.
No, Jake, this is the same electronics that are on the MotoGP bikes now. Mark Marcos and Valjean, they use these systems, and you're not better than them.
Obviously, the systems are not 100% the same. And I think what you got to remember too is there's a whole crew of people that tweak these settings right before the race. Conditions that day, the track temperature, the minutes before the race, they're sitting there, they're adjusting all that stuff. And the rider still has way more control over it than you'll have with just a couple, little up and down setting. Again, why are they so expensive now? What has gone on here with it? That's why I've proposed this new series, Budget 600 Build.
The new motorcycles, they cost too much. So we will buy you for the same amount of bucks. Then we'll buy some parts to make it cool. All used motorcycle is better than brand new. Wow.
I just hope people understand that these intros are meant to be silly. Realizing I had like the greatest idea in the world, I immediately said, we need to get a sponsor. So I called up J&P Cycles and said,
hey, J&P! Yeah, this is TheGardenSnake, a moto vlogger. I'm gonna need you to sponsor me, immediately.
Well, right away, Mr. Jake.
Oh, okay.
So again, the idea here is that we can take a second-hand motorcycle like this, about $4,500, throw a couple $1,000s of parts at it, and make it really cool and still come in way under what's gonna cost you to buy a brand new 600. I know a lot of people say, oh, 636, make it a stunt bike. But I've also had a lot of comments where people say, I'll throw knobbies on it and take it off-road. No, as much fun as that would be, I think I'm gonna stick to more realistic stuff. I moved this a minute ago to get a better shot now. It's annoying me that it's... Anyway, no, I'm gonna stick to what I think would be realistic. Nothing silly, nothing over the top. Power commander on it, I know for sure. It's got this exhaust on it right now without any tuning. It could use one. Down here, one of the fender bolts is like a big hex bolt, so we'll get like, you know, a big whole fender bolt kit for it and redo all these little things. It's over years, people taking these things on and off, you know, oh, they lose when they kick it across the garage. Some nice levers for it. I've written some things down, but a lot of them I'm just gonna kind of surf the web and see what I can come up with. Oh yeah, look, it's got this terrible, the underglow lights. So we'll rip all that off, we'll clean it up real good. If you saw what I did in my F-07, I tried to make it a very practical, realistic set of things you could do to a motorcycle. Just a normal garage. I do have a ton of tools back there behind me, but when I do these builds, I try to, you know, not dig into some of my more high-end stuff, because I know not everybody has that, so I'm gonna try to keep it simple enough. You can follow along with me, try to do something similar yourself. Let's go grab my laptop and let's see what we can find on the old interwebs. Let the part buying begin. Okay, let's see what I got. Got a list here. This is in no particular order. I got some tin W40, just a big jug of that coming in. Gotta do some fresh oil in these things. Power commander. As a mechanic, I've seen so many sloppy installs of those things with the wires just all over the place. So we'll put a power commander 5 in there, and I'll show you how tape and zip ties work. K&N high flow air filter, probably replace the filter regardless anyway, just because it is an 05. K&N oil filter coming. Vortex, adjustable rear sets. Pro Bolt, aluminum fairing bolt kit, and gold, because blue on gold will look pretty cool. A zero gravity dark smoked double bubble windscreen. CRG brake levers, and same with clutch lever. Ooh, here we go. Sportsman Sport Gel General Solo seat. Stock seats, I don't think I need to explain it to you if you've ridden one of these bikes for more a few minutes. Not really built for comfort. An EBC Kevlar series clutch. That one, yeah, it's got 20,000 miles. It's a 05. Might as well replace the clutch. We might as well put a nice one in there. RK chain and sprocket kit. It's a 1443. This is gonna give us some quicker acceleration. It's basically gonna gear the bike down just a little bit. We're gonna sacrifice a little bit of top speed for acceleration. I don't know why I did this like it's a 1-2 thing. EBC double H brake pads. I've ran those on all sorts of bikes over the years. Those are just a really nice set of brake pads to get. Some BikeMaster front rotors. We're just gonna get some new rotors. Grooving there in it, if you will. It's definitely still thick enough, but it's not like you can get these turned like on a car where they kind of machine them back down to a smooth surface. Nobody really does those for motorcycle rotors, so just replace them, easy enough. Front and rear steel braided brake lines. I'm pretty sure these are the original brake lines. Some small block off plates from PSR. Secondary air systems that some of these bikes have really only makes sense if you got like the stock exhaust, which sometimes has like a cowlick converter in it. A BikeMaster lithium battery. It's crazy how much lighter these things are when you actually feel them. You ever seen one of those demo batteries? That's what these lithium batteries feel like. If you're gonna be replacing your battery, you might as well spend a few extra bucks. Get that. Also got a special charger for the lithium battery. If you're gonna get the lithium battery, you probably wanna go ahead and get the lithium battery charger. And I also got the battery Tinder harness. This will make it so if I do have to charge it up, I don't have to break into the whole bike. I'll put like a little, like the little piggy tail thing in the back here. Some driven Halo bar ends, just some bar ends because, well, obviously I'm missing one here. Renthal Road dual compound grips, 32 millimeter. It's a little bit thicker. And then finally, Avon Spirit STs. The tires on here are, you know, if you just saw these, they look like there's still pretty good tread on them. But the secret is you gotta see how old they are, and these are a little bit older. That's the problem. They're a bit hard. You can kind of stick your fingernail in it here and it doesn't really just spring back on you. Spirit ST, one of those tires that's got really good grip, but still has really good life. Something you could actually ride day to day. Supposed to do well in the water. Hey, these guys are from the UK. They don't know about riding in the dry, so you don't have to worry about it in the wet for sure. Softer rubbers on the outsides and the harder day-to-day rubber in the middle. And they do what I always thought was a really smart idea. They've got that cool thing where on the very edges of the tires, you'll look, there's no tread going down. Like these have got tread going all the way to the edges. If you're that far leaned over, my guess is you're not gonna be in the rain, so no reason to put tread there. And they have just a nice strip, so basically have a good slick there if you get crazy going all knee down. They may add a few other things, I'm not really sure yet, but that's probably gonna be the bulk of it. It's a good bit of stuff right there. We'll have to do like at the end, like a chart to show how much money we've actually spent, but even with all that stuff there I just mentioned, we're still not even like halfway there to what the new 600s cost out the door. Well, I think it's gonna work out. I'll take this nice 600 here, a little bit of maintenance, cool parts, and have something way more custom and badass than stock high dollar 600. Bunch of electronics on it, you don't need that stuff. Trust me, you don't need it. It's dumb. I don't know why I chose to be in this position. This is highly uncomfortable. Let me know what you think about this build in the comments below. I know it's something different, you know, I don't really ever mess with super sports on this channel, but I know a lot of you guys are into this stuff, so, and gals, you know, sorry, it's just, we say these things. If it was your build, you know, what would you do with it? I'm pumped about it, man. This is honestly the stuff I love doing the most. I'm looking forward to it. Y'all take care, and thank you for watching the budget 600 build, because new sport bikes are way too expensive and we don't want to spend that much money. I was actually going to call it that whole thing at first. I had that written down. I was like, Jake, that's stupid.
I'm going to have to add in a sound effect because there's literally, I got ones that don't make any noise.
I'm totally dressed appropriate for riding this thing. You like my dad pants? I can't get out of this now.
ZX-6R!